Good afternoon, Ashwin here from Eventum, and today we're going to be talking about tips for your business when you're looking to grow. What are the things you should be looking at and what things should you be doing? Probably the first thing is identifying what type of business you are. So typically there's probably two types of businesses. There's businesses that sell products and there's businesses that sell services. So what you're really looking at is what is your underlying asset or source of generating revenue. So the best way to explain it is if you're a service business, whether you're a trade or an accountant or a lawyer, it's your people. So it's your people that are basically charging time to make money. If you're a person selling lights, TVs, products like that, it's the product, right? It's how you develop the product, what type of product it is, that's what's generating the revenue for you. And it might be a mix of two in your business. You might need people to sell that or design it, and that's part of your cost. But ideally, it's for a simplistic talking point of view, there's people that sell products, there's people that sell services. You want to look at how you have the right setup for that growth. So if I'm in a professional services or a trade business, I want to make sure I've got the right workforce and the right setups and processes for that business to grow. That's where my time will be spent. So how are we doing a job? How are we processing it? Are we doing it efficiently? Are we doing it properly? Are we doing everything we need to do in that area? And do we have the right people? And that's where your time's going to be spent. So in your service business, your actual time and resources is going to be spent on the people within the business and making sure they're the right people to grow, whether it's reinvesting in their skills or reinvesting in their processes or in their procedures or their equipment. That's where you're going to spend your time, and that's where you should spend most of your effort as a business owner is growing those people, because that's how you're making money. And you got to walk away from that discussion that wages is a cost, when actually wages is how you make your money, and making the most of your wages is the key part, and investing in your people is the right way to go about it. Similar to a football team or a professional sporting body, that's how you do it. You invest in those people, that's how you get the most out of it, and getting the right talent in there. So that's from a service point of view. Now, if you're selling a product or developing something, well, it's in that time, and it might be advisors, it might be consultants, it might be developers that are building your product. That's where your time and resources are, and making sure you've got your unique selling point identified, or your market really honed in, and how you're solving a problem in that area. And a good example of that is just being really specific, knowing where that area is, how much that market segment is worth, how you're going to get there, how long it's going to take there. Because any business that's selling a product, you're going to go through this phase of cash flow going down, 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 and eventually picking up. So your plan has to be, how am I going to build that or that product and get that market knowing what I do, and how long is that going to take, and do I have the cash or the investors on board to take me there? Because too many businesses have a great idea or a great product they want to develop, but don't have the resources to get to the end point, and then they fall short of trying to grow, and they fall over because they haven't planned 2 or 3 years ahead of time. They've just gone into it, and they haven't got a specific goal or an orientation. That's where your focus needs to be. So services businesses are easy to adjust, because you can just get rid of people or reduce the staffing if there's no area or you grow as you need to. A product is really hard. You need to actually work out what it's going to cost and have the right structures. So there's things, incentives out there like R&D offsets and grants from the government in manufacturing if you're a company and you're set up for the right areas. So talk to your accountant, get the right setup, but have a plan of what you're trying to do. And the best businesses we have as clients that are product related have actually picked an area where they're one of 2 or one of 3 areas in a specific market segment that they've gone after, and they've had a really strategic plan around it. And that's what you need to spend, is your time and resources on your plan, making sure that's where you want to be, and adjusting your plan. Like, no plan's set. We've all gone through different plans that don't work out, but having that plan is your key. And your accountant and other advisors are part of that discussion. Just so we can ask questions back to you. Have you thought about how much that's going to cost? Have you looked at it? Have you got the funding? Because the last thing you want to do is go 2 years into a journey and realise it's a 5-year journey and run out of money or resources, or having the wrong plan around it, that it falls over and someone else has that idea. A good story is the tech companies, right? Google wasn't the first 2 search engines. Neither was other businesses that they were followed other people and followed through on resources and solved a specific problem quicker. You know, I still remember the days where Ask Jeeves or those things were Yahoo were the places where we went to search for things, and now it's Google, and it was simply because they were the quickest and most accurate responses when we searched. And that's what you're looking for, is what is your unique point if you're selling a product. Same thing with a service, but you're investing in people there, and you've got to get your culture right. Not saying you don't do that with a product, but in the initial phases of a product, it's knowing that that product has a market and how you're going to pitch it and how you're going to get it out there and what makes it different. So if you haven't had those talks or you haven't had those discussions with your accountant, book a time with us at Eventum on 0893103343, or shoot us an email and we'll book a time to sit down and see if we can make a partnership between us.